race for Senate in Massachusetts appears to be a dead heat. A new poll shows Senator Scott Brown and Elizabeth Warren in a virtual tie. And for the first time in weeks, Brown addressed the controversy surrounding her alleged Native American heritage. I should say Warren. Sharman had quite an exchange with her.
Certainly did. Mark, you know, this is an issue that has dogged her campaign for nearly a month. Again, Elizabeth Warren is stonewalling questions about whether or not she is in fact part Cherokee. Now, we caught up with Warren at Jimmy's Barn and Oven in Brookline during a campaign stop. She told us she knows she's part Cherokee because her mom said so. Warren has come under fire for a minority listing in a law school directory and for schools touting the professor as a minority hire. She was identified as a Cherokee way back in 1984 in a cookbook called Pow Wow Chow. Critics have blasted Warren for not producing any proof of her heritage. So we asked her if once and for all she could answer our questions on it.
Elizabeth, can you put this issue to bed and tell us whether or not you are in fact a member of a minority group?
So, middle-class families are getting hammered. I've been out talking to people about this all across the Commonwealth, and what they care about are what Washington is going to do about that. My Republican opponent has made it clear what he will do. He voted to double the interest rates.
Members of the Cherokee Nation want to know. They say you should come clean.
I have made the facts clear. And what I'm trying to do is talk about in this Senate race what matters to America's families, what matters to the families of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
So will you tell us whether or not
Scott Brown has hammered on my family at the same time that now middle-class families are also getting hammered on. This is the issue, and it's my job in this campaign to talk about those issues.
Well, why did you
this
claim
is
you
what
were
matters to the family.
And then stop?
I can't stop her when she's in the sequence.
Why did you claim you were a minority and then stop?
I have told you. I have answered these questions. I am going to talk about what's happening to America's families. It's what people across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts tell me is important to them, and it's what I'm going to continue.
Don't you think it's an important issue to address?
I have talked about the issues that are most important to the families of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The families themselves have made this clear. I have answered the questions about my background, about my family, and I am talking about what matters to the people of Massachusetts. They have said what they care about is that middle-class families are getting hammered. This election will be decided based on whose side you stand on. Scott Brown has hammered those families harder. He just voted to double the interest rate on student loans. And I have worked for middle-class families for all of my life. I've spent the last 30 years out there advocating on behalf of America's middle class. And that's what I'm going to talk about.
You're not answering the question.
It's what I got in this race to talk about, and it's what I'm going to continue to talk about.
Well, a spokesman for Scott Brown tells us Warren should stop stonewalling and produce records from the University of Pennsylvania and Harvard to show, in fact, if the schools benefited from the false information. That's what they said. Officials involved in her hiring have already said her heritage did not play a role. Now, all of this may not matter so much. A new Suffolk University poll shows the Cherokee issue has not hurt Warren in the polls. She's in a dead heat with Senator Scott Brown. Sharman Sacchetti, Fox 25 News.